Good evening and welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Suvarnabhumi Klin Suwan. A Thammasat law lecturer today and a core leader of the Niti Rat group who is calling for amendment of the Less Majest law in Thailand was attacked today by two unknown men. He is recovering in hospital while the police were checking footage from the CCTV cameras in the area. Associate Professor Warajet Pakirat was assaulted in the parking of Thammasat University's Thapachan campus. Warajet said he was talking to another lecturer when two men sneaked up from behind to deliver several punches. He sustained bruises and some minor cuts to the face. None of his assets were reported stolen. Following the attack, Warajet underwent a medical checkup, then filed a case with Chanasongkram police station. Police are checking security cameras at the Thapachan campus in order to identify the suspects. The two men caught on camera seem to be aged between 20 and 30. Their motorcycle's license plate was also caught on a closed-circuit television. Police have not drawn a conclusion about the motive behind the attack, whether it was personal or politically motivated. Warajet is a core leader of Niti Rat, which is a group comprised of law academics spearheading a campaign to amend the controversial Article 112 law of the Criminal Code. Aiming to amend the Less Majest law and strongly opposing a military coup has put Warajet in the spotlight and on the wrong side of royalist and anti-government wings. Today's Senate Subcommittee on Environmental and Natural Disasters and scholars from Mahidol University and the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration went to further investigate the hygiene quality at Don Mueang Airport after it was underwater for over a month. Paradi Jongsuk Thanamani, chairperson of the Subcommittee on Environment and Natural Disaster and chairman of the Subcommittee of Air Transportation, went to further inspect hygiene quality and the general environment of Don Mueang Airport, looking especially for signs of bacteria and Legionella pneumophila, which causes deadly diseases. Today, there were only inspections in parts of the cooling towers because the Don Mueang Airport is not fully operating yet. Officers are to revisit it once again when it opens in order to take samples for testing to ensure the environment meets with WHO standards. Meanwhile, executives of the Airports of Thailand, or AOT, said Don Mueang will fully be operational on March the 6th, and great care will be taken over the hygiene of passengers and employees. Senators and scholars will conclude their tests by March the 8th after reopening the airport. The Administrative Court has today rejected a lawsuit seeking the court's order to halt night flights to and from Suvarnabhumi airports and to scrap the expansion of a third runway at the international airport.
359 people living near the airport asked the court to order the operators of Suvarnabhumi International Airport to stop operating flights after nightfalls. They claim adverse environmental impacts, for which the state has not yet offered sufficient compensation. The litigants also asked the court to order the airport to stop the expansion of a third runway. The administrative court rejected the case, however, saying that the third runway has not yet been built. Therefore, speculation surrounding additional negative environmental impacts could not yet be considered. The court also said that AOT, the company which oversees airports in Thailand, and all previous governments since 2006, when the airport started operations, have progressed compensation claims. Even though the compensation payment may be slow in coming, the court says it doesn't mean that locals are being neglected.
Moving on to energy, Bangkok residents are questioning the Ministry of Energy as to why it granted a British energy company a license to explore for oil in Bangkok's Taweewattana district. According to the City Planning Office, this 7 rai or 1.1 hectare area of land in Taweewattana district is in a green zone, meaning factories or buildings higher than 5 stories cannot be constructed. Locals are now questioning why Mitra Energy Limited received a concession to explore for oil in this location. The British firm was granted permission by the government to explore on January 21st and will likely start drilling on March the 6th. The company claims it has passed the Environmental Impact Assessment or EIA test, yet locals claim a referendum was never conducted as required by law. The Administrative Court has accepted a lawsuit brought by locals and an opposition MP, has submitted the issue to the Parliament's Environmental Committee and to the Senate's Anti-Corruption Committee to recheck the EIA approval and how exactly this company received a concession for energy exploration. Dr. Surin Pissuwan, Secretary General of ASEAN, expressed his concern about the ASEAN Economic Community due to start in 2015, in that Thailand has yet to prepare by improving education, innovation and technology. Here's more.
Thailand is the second largest economy in ASEAN. The first one is Indonesia, but Indonesia has a large population. Per capita income of Indonesia is lower than the Thai per capita income. But Thailand is in a good size and has a very strong foundation to improve, to lift itself from labor-intensive basic commodities economy to a more productive, more knowledge-based, more service-oriented economy. But that will take a lot of effort. We have to improve on the quality of our human resource. We have to improve in our technology, in our science, in our research, in our design and development. That will require a lot of effort. I would hope that the government will pay more attention to the budget for serious research.
After a tense meeting between security officials, the police have revealed that 2 more people may be involved in the Sukhumvit bombing case. At least one of the 2 fled the country. After a 3-hour meeting with Homeland Security units, the police say that on top of the 5 suspects for whom arrest warrants have already been issued, another 2 people are in line for warrants as well. Police cannot confirm if the 2 are the masterminds or just a support unit to the Iranian bombers who blasted 3 places on February 14. 2 of the 7 suspects are already in police custody, while another remains in Malaysia and has not yet been extradited to Thailand. The level of haze in some areas of the northern provinces still exceeds international health standards, impacting the number of visitors to the north. Meanwhile, the Met Office says that more thunder showers will hit the north and northeastern parts of Thailand. Rescue staff in the northeastern province of Roi Et are helping locals fix some 400 houses damaged by a tropical storm in the past 2 days. Kalasin province also saw 200 houses destroyed. Electricity in many areas were also cut off and trees uprooted. The Meteorological Department warns more rain is heading to the northeast, but not as heavy as in the previous days. Meanwhile, moving up to the north, the Chiang Rai Tourism Council says that the haze problem in the northern provinces has reduced tourist numbers to Chiang Rai by more than 20%. If the situation continues, tourist numbers heading to the northern parts of Thailand may reduce even more. The level of haze in some areas of Chiang Rai, Lampang, Phrae, and Phayao provinces still exceeds international health standards, mostly due to forest fires and farmers burning their fields in preparation for the farming season. Dust particles smaller than 10 microns must not exceed 120 micrograms per cubic meter. Some areas in Chiang Rai are as high as 300 micrograms per cubic meter. The Housing Business Association are insisting that property developers have not built houses that block waterways and suggested that the government should not expropriate the large amount of land proposed to use both in the rainy season and times of drought. Following the Constitution Court's verdict that the financial emergency decrees do not violate the Constitution, the Ministry of Finance now has the authority to take out a 3.5 billion baht loan for water management for the future of Thailand. Isara Bunyang, director of the Housing Business Association, said that the government should take immediate action to establish a water management center to speed up all necessary processes. Building floodways along the Tajin River is another planned method of water management, but the association insists that the government should not just but rent land in order to help draining the water during the rainy season. The director of the Housing Business Association has asked the government to take into consideration land development and allow some people to stay where they are. In particular, Isara suggested creating zones for agriculture, industry, and water drainage. He insisted that property developers did not build houses that block waterways, although some houses were built before the law in 1992. The property industry so far this year is showing signs of slow growth, but it is expected to experience a 4 to 5% growth compared to last year, with 85,000 new units being built in Bangkok and the vicinity. And for those of you sick and tired of traffic in Bangkok, the Traffic Control Police have launched a new traffic condition checking application so that commuters can check for congested routes right from their handsets. The Traffic Control Police launched the latest application for smartphone and tablet owners to download before they start their road trips. Simply search for Traffic Police in your app store or ask your smartphone or tablet retailer, and images from 60 cameras across Bangkok can be in your hands to help you decide which way to go. Video streaming is the next step for the high-tech Traffic Control Police. And that's the end of tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Until then, good night. สวัสดีครับ